G'day there guys, it's Markee, back again with another episode of r/Am I the A-hole. Now if you think anyone's the A-hole today, be sure to let me know down in the comments, sit back, relax, and enjoy the bloody good content. Posted by user, supposed misogynist, titled, Am I the A-hole for praising my son differently than my daughter? Throwaway account plus obligatory mobile formatting apology. I, 52 male, and the father of 3 kids, 15 female, 7 female, and 7 male. The last 2 are twins and are very close, having the tendency to copy each other. I love and adore them all equally. My son is not a very masculine kid and is less interested in some of my hobbies because of this. He has always preferred whatever his mother and older sister did, like baking or dancing. I have no problem with this, I love him as he is, but to be honest, I'm slightly disappointed that we haven't had that kind of amazing father-son bonding that I got to have with my grandpa. My dad died when I was pretty young when I was a kid. Since I'm at home almost all the time now, I've been seeing just how feminine his interests have gotten. Asking to help cook every meal, helping his older sister alter second-hand clothes, and playing pretend. He's even asked to have his sister paint his nails. I'm not upset by or bothered by it, but it isn't typical for young boys. I've been working out at home instead of at the gym because of our current circumstances, and when my son came in while I was lifting weights in the family room, he showed an interest in it. He was excited about the idea of having big muscles and tried out some of the 5-pound ones, even though he mentioned being like She-Ra, from some Netflix reboot I think. It was still progress in my eyes, and it seemed like he was showing interest in masculine hobbies. I praised him and did the whole, wow, you're so strong thing in kid talk to encourage him. When his sisters walked in, the twin, 7 female, joined in. Like I said, they have the tendency to want to do what the other one is doing, so she expected the same kind of, wow, so strong stuff. When I wasn't as enthusiastic with her and focused on my son, my oldest got annoyed and asked why I was treating them differently. I explained to her that because he hadn't taken interests in these kind of masculine hobbies before, I wanted to foster his own identity as a boy separate from his twin sister. She accused me of being misogynistic for this. She then said that I was the a-hole for making his sister feel weaker and implying that I didn't approve of his feminine interests. I don't think I'm the a-hole because there's no reason for my daughter to be inclined towards this kind of thing, but my son should be developing a more masculine personality as he gets older. When she told my wife, 41 female, she also blew up at me, saying I was acting like a cartoon misogynist. Both of them are ticked, so Reddit, am I the a-hole? Your daughter was right, this is very misogynistic. You've expressed outright disappointment that your son has predominantly feminine interests, which like, do only girls cook? Do only girls have imaginations? There is absolutely nothing wrong with this being feminine, but those aren't even girly things. Also, why are you so against your daughter having masculine interests? Which again, is illogical. Women also lift weights. You're the a-hole for more reasons than one, OP. Hope you do some introspection. OP, you're the a-hole. I'm a woman who lifts weights. I'm pretty ticked off at OP. Being a gay man who has worked in fitness for years, this made me kind of mad just because I've seen so many women with unhealthy views about health, scared to pick up weights, drink protein shakes, or have poor relationships with diet and exercise due to misinformation and poor experiences. He inadvertently gave her that experience that would have been a golden opportunity to get her started on a healthy relationship with her body, food, and exercise. It also made me upset for the son because through my parents, and also trying to partake in activities straight men liked, there was so much gatekeeping that I rarely ever felt secure in any of my interests, and it led to a lot of self-esteem issues. Just love your kids. OP says, thank you for your comment, and you're very right. I made an edit to my post if you want more information, but I've apologized to my daughters and wife, and will be talking to my son once he's awake tomorrow. I'm planning on letting him choose something for us to do together, so we can have some bonding on his terms. It's hard to genuinely confront this kind of internalized preconception in yourself. Good for you for being open to the criticism instead of getting defensive, and for wanting to do better. If you weren't bothered by it, you wouldn't have typed the first 2 paragraphs. Hypocritical much? because there's no reason for my daughter to be inclined towards this kind of thing. My god, a-hole of the year. You really are a misogynist and a sexist. There is no reason for your daughter to be interested in lifting weights at 7 years old? I hope for her own sake that she doesn't get into sports. I can only imagine the reaction. You're the a-hole. How dare my children enjoy exercising and cooking? These aren't necessary skills to have. Don't be ridiculous. Men can cook as long as it's on a grill or over an open flame while on a hunting and camping trip. Yeah, steaks on, buddy. Women can exercise as long as it's some sort of dance class. Otherwise, you end up with confused children who are active and can cook for themselves. Could you imagine the horror of male chefs and women's sports teams? Ugh! We don't need that in America or Australia or China. No, nowhere's safe. We cannot have that here. Edits. Hey everyone, I was 100% the a-hole. I appreciate that some people tried to empathize and say not the a-hole or no a-holes here to be charitable. But I'm in the wrong here, and I knew it deep down while I was writing this post. Rereading it, I feel ridiculous for writing that all out. I want to say thank you because these comments were the objective kick in the ass I really needed. I realize now that I was really out of line for saying that crap and making my daughters feel that way. I set up a stupid false dichotomy and my daughter was very right. I was being a misogynist. No excuse for that. I apologized to both of them and my wife an hour after I posted. I also shared this post with my little brother who, as I mentioned in a comment, was teased for being effeminate as a kid and a teen, especially after he came out. I think some people took me mentioning that as blaming him, which wasn't my intention. My intentions were good. I went through my whole life without ever mentioning it. Sorry, it was not my intention at all. None of my behavior is his or anybody else's fault. We talked for a while, and that, along with many of the comments you guys left, made me aware of how badly I'm treating my son. My grandpa, who raised my brother and I for most of our lives, was a manly guy, who I've always idolized completely. Well, my brother made me aware that my grandpa in particular made him feel crappy about his femininity and his sexual orientation. He would regularly say degrading, terrible things. I was oblivious to just how much that hurt him, and it seems that I've picked up some of these same ideas. I've been such a dick for so long, and now that I realized how absurd some of these ideas I've held onto are, I know how much of a disservice I've done to my boy. I shouldn't try to make him change, just to protect him from bullies. In this situation, I'm the bully as much as it hurts to think. I'm planning on talking with him about the issue and apologizing. If we can this week, I want to let him choose something that he likes that we can do together. I'm not going to make the same mistakes as my grandpa did. At my brother's and some Redditors' suggestions, I'm considering trying out therapy or a support group. After a mistake, huge screw-up like this, I think I ought to try to be the best dad and big brother I can be and work to stop thinking that way, especially when I've already done so much damage. I'm sorry about the extremely long edit, but thank you for your responses and helping me with this issue. I showed my wife some comments and she also thanks you all. Edit 2. This will probably be the final update, but wow, I'm overwhelmed with all the responses. I wasn't expecting so many, thank you to everyone. I'm glad you guys were honest, but still encouraging. I'm sorry I haven't been able to reply to all of you. I got a lot of really kind and personal messages, and I want you guys to know I've taken it to heart. Some people asked what I'm going to do with my daughters, since it seems like I focused more on my son in the edit. My oldest wants to try Krav Maga, so in the coming weeks, we're hoping to find a place that'll accommodate both ages. Youngest daughter has wanted to learn how to roller skate too, so my 15-year-old may have to teach us both. I was able to talk to my son for a while this morning and apologize for yesterday. Talking about gender roles and all the trauma surrounding my grandpa may be something I'll talk to him about as he gets older. But I got the message across that I support whatever he's interested in. I asked him about She-Ra. Some commenters told me that it's fun for adults too, and we watched a few episodes together. You guys were right. My oldest and I both thought it was very cute. I asked him what he would want to do together, and he mentioned trying to alter something. I brought down a box of my old stuff from the attic, and lo and behold, I found one of the 80s Hawaiian shirts my grandpa bought me. Probably an effort to make me look like Tom Selleck. With some guidance from my oldest, we're going to try to make it fit my son with room for him to grow into it. I think it'll turn out nicely, and because it's really vintage, my 15-year-old loves it. So everything is pretty good right now. I invited my brother over, lives a few hours away, for dinner, so my son and I can make him something. I can't believe that I was feeling upset about him liking baking and everything. I'm lucky that my boy wants to help everyone, so I'm definitely the a-hole, but I'm slowly becoming not the a-hole. Thank you all. I showed my oldest some of my favorite comments, and she thinks they're great, and I should expect a Clown of the Year award for a Father's Day gift. Haha. That was really wholesome. I'm glad that it ended on such a positive note. Wow, they really turned it around, Jesus. Posted by user Dad Father Son 17, titled, Am I the a-hole for insinuating that my daughter is ugly? The title sounds bad, but it isn't that bad. So, my daughter has this friend who has all their kids in their grade falling head over heels for. I thought it was an exaggeration, but she's literally that girl in high school. Now this friend posted a picture of the two of them on their friendship page on her birthday yesterday. Everyone was just giving dozens of comments on the friend and said nothing about my daughter at all. I think there were only 2 who said happy birthday to my daughter. She was upset over this because she got none of the attention. She asked me if she was pretty. At first, I thought I should give the whole, of course, you're so beautiful, these guys are just crazy speech, but I couldn't see any benefit from that. Alright, get your pitchforks out. There's your first mistake, buddy. What's wrong with you? So I gave it to her straight. When I told her she wasn't, she was taken aback, but I explained she was much better. I said something around the lines that she doesn't have the looks, but... Dude! But that doesn't matter. Told her she had an amazing personality and is just an amazing girl. I pointed out that she had the world's greatest eyes. Might be biased, but it's true. And that her smile is contagious, which it is. Mentioned that I wasn't a looker when I was a teenager, but my confidence got me places. She was a bit quiet, but she thanked me for it. We laughed, hugged, and I left feeling like I gave the greatest parent speech ever. However, when I told my wife this, she went mad. She says I was basically insinuating that she was ugly. Didn't say it, nor do I think she is, with the classic personality matters speech. I still think I did great. Am I the a-hole? After this, my wife went to fix my mess. My daughter told her that she was fine and felt better after my talk with her. Okay, I'm going to say I'm glad the daughter took it that way because a lot of people would not take it so gracefully, and he's lucky that she did because I do feel like he was insinuating she was ugly. He also doesn't say how old she is, and that could definitely factor into how she feels about that explanation from him. But let's see what the comments say. Oh, Dad, you're the a-hole. I just literally had flashbacks to my dad, and I want to curl up under a blanket and die. Got room for me? Can we make a fort? Yup, you bring popcorn and Selena on VHS. Ever After will also do. Frickin' excellent choices. Do we just become best friends? Yeah! Yup, you're the a-hole. Your daughter will always remember that even her dad doesn't think she was beautiful. Whenever she has low self-esteem, that conversation will play back in her head. When she can't leave the a-hole boyfriend that mistreats and abuses her, that conversation will play back in her head. That was me with my abuser. This conversation will 100% shape any type of self-image and core beliefs that she has about herself. Oh snap, just made some real-world realizations here. So that now makes sense as to why all my exes picked straight up on that in an argument. No wonder I have no self-esteem. Could have saved myself some trouble there if I'd thought, oh hey, that sounds like your abuser, time to peace out. Instead of, huh, yeah, that's what he said too. You're the a-hole. My dad and I are extremely close, and I remember so many things he has mentioned over the years. I still remember all the times I would get ready for school thinking I looked so cute, and he would come and point out my big zit or something. I say this because as a 33-year-old, I still remember things that my dad told me growing up. Guaranteed that your daughter is going to remember the moments her dad said she wasn't a looker. My dad used to do the same thing. I had acne in high school, and he'd often point it out when he saw it on my forehead. Not sure what he was thinking, to be honest. It certainly didn't help my self-confidence. My ex also used to do the same thing, and asked when it would get fixed, which I probably put up with for too long. I'm never going to do these things as a dad, Jesus Christ. It seems like a joke, but come on. Posted by user Throwaway Am I the A-hole 55. Titled, Am I the a-hole for not sharing my inheritance money with my sister, who was cut off for being a lesbian? The title pretty much says it all. I, 32 female, come from an extremely Catholic family, and my sister, 30 female, was cut off during her senior year of high school because our cousin found out she had a girlfriend and revealed her to them, and she ended up having to take out loans to pay for her college. When my mum died, my sister was not allowed at the funeral. Even though we were never close, I'm the only person in that family who still talks to her. We're basically on Christmas card terms, if you will, but that's about it. My dad died about a year ago, and everything was willed to me. His house, car, and of course all his savings. My sister wanted to contest the will, but her lawyer told her it would be a waste of money since my dad made sure to have his will drafted by another lawyer to prevent her from being able to do so. She asked me why I couldn't even have just helped her pay off her student loans or given her the car. But here's the thing. After doing all the math, I realized that after selling the house plus car plus my dad's savings, I was able to pay off my house, both cars, including my husband's, and set up a college fund for my kids, 6 female and 8 male. I'm also pregnant, so that's another college fund I need to think about. My sister and I were never close because she was always the favorite until high school, of course, and she would always blame me for the things she did. Even as adults, we never got along that well. I'm just nice to her because I don't care that she's gay, and I did attend her wedding. But when it comes to my husband and children, I have to have priorities. My sister cut me off permanently, and while that does make me sad, I feel it's worth to secure my family's financial future. Am I the a-hole? This one just hurts my soul to read, Jesus Christ. Yup, you're the a-hole pretty much says it all. Edit to add, my 102-year-old grandmother is a die-hard Catholic, goes to church every day, knows every single page of the Bible. She is pro-gay rights and pro-gay marriage. Your family wasn't religious, they're homophobic bigots. All my family are the same. My strict Catholic granny was my uncle's biggest supporter when he came out in the 80s. No way is OP the a-hole. They've clearly stated that their sister's sexuality is not her reason for not splitting the inheritance, it was her parents' reason for not including her in the will in the first place. Her reasons, as stated above, are 1. Never having a close relationship until the rest of the family disowned her, and OP was the only person that did not. 2. Her transphobic comments, and 3. Her racism. You had enough to pay off your house, both cars, set up 2 college funds, and you couldn't afford to help a little? Pretty sure with no mortgage or car payments, you can afford to put a few bucks away for that 3rd college fund. You're the a-hole. OP has clearly spent all the money already in her head, so she doesn't want to give any of it up. OP has already decided that it belongs to her. Legally it does, unfortunately that is all that matters. You're the a-hole, your sister was cut off from your family because of homophobia, and you denying her her inheritance is just further perpetuating the homophobia. So you're an a-hole because you're selfish and homophobic. Edit, I'm not Catholic anymore, guys. My family is. Messaging me with guilt trips about #WhatWouldJesusDo isn't gonna work on me, so please stop. I mentioned this in one of the comments, but I just want to make it clear, a big reason my sister and I don't get along is because even though she's gay, she does not have progressive values. She and her wife blame immigrants for her wife not being able to find a job, and they both say disgusting things about trans people on social media. I have never cared that she's gay. I just don't like her because she's a jerk. I didn't think this would be relevant, but considering all the people calling me a bigot, I may as well add it. Edit 2. The fact that my sister's political views have this much of an impact on your guys' judgment is ridiculous and disturbing. The reason I didn't bring it up is because her political views are not the reason I didn't share it. I kept it to honor my parents' wishes and help my family's future. The post wasn't called, Am I the a-hole for not getting along with my sister? The only reason I added it is because you guys kept accusing me of making this decision out of bigotry, when the reality is much more complicated than that. And yet, you leaving out those political ideologies makes it much more complicated, you idiots. And if one of my kids adopted her views, I would be upset and try to change their minds, but I wouldn't cut them out of my will over it. If you really changed your judgment based solely on her political views, then I'm sorry, but you're way more bigoted than I could ever be, and I sincerely hope that your children never make the mistake of thinking differently than you. I don't like my sister's views, but I would never use them as a reason to deny her something that was legally hers. The issue here is this money wasn't legally hers, and my parents made it clear they wanted it invested towards their grandchildren's future well-being. So that is what I based my decision off of. It had nothing to do with her sexuality or political views. My god, the point is flying over this person's head. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that justification. I'm not going to stir the pot anymore. That's kind of made me a bit mad reading this. I've had to cut a lot of things out. Let's move on to the next post. Posted by user throwaway12345667, titled, "Am I the a-hole for not sitting outside with my daughter?" A bit of backstory. I'm on mobile, so sorry for the format. So my daughter, 23 female, doesn't leave her room much at all. She tends to play video games way too much, as she says it helps her depression. I frequently ask her to sit outside with me in our garden, as a bit of sunshine might help her feel better, yet she always refuses, either saying she doesn't want to, or she's busy playing video games with her friends. I recently bought a hammock for my husband, and my daughter took a liking to it. She has sat in it every day since. Today she asked if I would like to sit outside with her, and I refused, saying I'm busy watching TV. She got a little offended and said I always ask her to go outside, and now I won't sit with her. Am I the a-hole for not going outside with her? Yes. Edit. Thank you all so much for your comments. I didn't realize how this must have made her feel, as I wasn't really thinking. I have since apologized and talked with her, and we have arranged to spend the day together outside on Tuesday, as we're both off work. I didn't think of it from her perspective when I answered her. I think I'll take more care in thinking before speaking next time. It's like when you're really down and out as a teen, and you don't want to help out around the house because you're just going to be judged, and as soon as you're like, I'm going to go help the family out, I'm going to go talk to them, I'm going to go do some dishes, everyone's like, whoa, look who came out of their cave, oh buddy, look at you doing work, wow, you're so good at this. It's like, it doesn't help. Denying her when she makes an effort to come out to you doesn't help. You're an a-hole for doing that. You're the a-hole. You push her to go outside and she asked for your support. You were too busy watching TV to support your depressed child. She asked to spend time with you outside and you opted to watch TV. You didn't ask her to wait up for you to be done, you shut her down. Yeah, that was cold how she shut her down. You're the a-hole because you are the parent and your kiddo finally showed interest in doing the thing you have been trying to get her to do. It's a discouraging response, not a supportive one. You're the a-hole. I get that you're trying to make a point, but at the expense of shutting your daughter down when she reaches out seems counterproductive. There were better ways to handle this. You're the a-hole. I'm not sure how bad your daughter's depression is, but her asking you to sit with her is an obvious olive branch. She's inviting you to spend time with her and you're behaving childishly by refusing because she refused before. You need to be the bigger person and realize that she is less rational, 1, as she's depressed, and 2, as she's a child. If I were you, I'd apologize and say you'd love to spend time with her. Like my mum would. My mum would be like, yo, let's hang out, let's get some coffee, let's spend some time with the chihuahuas. Come on, man. Oh, I love my mum for that. Posted by user Leo Lecoeursbrise. It's got a few awards, epic. Titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my best friend I love him on his wedding night? Oh, whoa. Last December, my 28 female best friend, 32 male, married his girlfriend, 30 female, of 2 years. They had a beautiful white tie garden wedding at a nice estate. I've known my best friend since childhood. We used to spend every second together. We went to the same elementary and high school and only lived a few doors down from each other. We kept talking when he went to university, but stopped talking for about 4 years when I went and made different friends. But eventually we both found jobs in our hometown and reconnected. I'm going to read what that asterisk is before continuing. Edit, my fault, we didn't go to MS at the same time. He was a senior in high school when I was a freshman. Okay, that's what that means. I've always thought my best friend was attractive, but I never made a move because I'm more of a traditional person, and he never asked. We both went to prom with different people, dated different people in college, etc. We never kissed or had any other physicality. So fast forward to his wedding night. The whole thing felt wrong to me. I ended up liking his now wife, but but during the period in which they were dating and engaged, I still hung out with my best friend all the time. We'd go stargazing, hiking, etc., but there was never any romantic subtext to it. On the night of the wedding, I asked one of my other friends what I should do, and she recommended that I tell him my feelings before the wedding. She said I would regret it forever if I didn't. I realized this was true. I'm dying on the inside. I didn't get a chance to talk to him before the ceremony, but afterwards I managed to pull him aside and tell him that I've loved him forever. He started to cry and told me to leave. I've only spoken to him once since last December, when he texted me to make sure I was fine considering the current plague. Am I the a-hole? If I am, please help me resolve this. I really miss my best friend. You're the a-hole. If you don't, you'll regret it forever. Are you kidding? You just made his wedding day about you and your feelings. You either should have told him long before the wedding, or you should have kept your mouth shut. Now he'll always remember that on his wedding day, and it's your fault. I'm not convinced this isn't straight from an episode of Friends, and that the OP isn't Rachel typing about Ross. Edits, yes, I know that there's a movie with a similar plot starring Julia Roberts. Please stop asking me not to be trash and see it, please and thank you. She didn't tell him though, because she realized it was wrong to do that on his wedding day. Maybe they should have watched the episode before trying to say that, you idiot. The movie is My Best Friend's Wedding. If you guys want to watch that, I haven't seen it, I just saw it in the comics here. You're the a-hole. What you did was so selfish. Who cares if you'd regret not being honest about something that is, frankly, immaterial if it comes at the price of ruining your friend's wedding? He's about to marry the love of his life, and you pulled him aside to confess your love for him? That is narcissistic. Nothing about that moment or day should have been about you. But you just had to seize your moment and dodge an apparent lifetime of regret because you didn't have the stones to do it at an appropriate time, i.e. before he was in a relationship. Edits, I apparently angrily read through this and missed that you told him after he was already married. Great job. Top tier friend. Agreed. Everything about this situation sucks, but the part about OP telling him after the ceremony basically negates the entire excuse that he had to know about OP's feelings before it was too late, or something. Right? Letting him know your true feelings after the wedding is quite literally too late. What was OP hoping would happen? An annulment, and then they run off into the sunset together because OP is the star of her very own rom-com. No kidding. At least Benjamin Braddock got Elaine Robinson to run off before the actual wedding. Ooh. DM Me Kitten says, I have a best friend who is of the opposite gender, and if he ever confessed feelings to me, I'm married, I would be fudging ticked and so sad. 1, because it shows he had zero respect for me in my marriage. 2, because I was now going to lose my best friend. I have had 2 friends I've had to cut off because they both admitted feelings for me after I was married. It would have been disrespectful to my spouse had I kept up communication with either of them. Ooh, that is big truth bomb right there. Everyone keeps talking about Julia Roberts. Stop! You're the a-hole. It was his wedding night. What were you thinking? Also, your friend who told you to tell him is the a-hole. Seriously, hate to tell you this, OP, but I think your friend just wanted you to see some drama. Both the a-hole. Yes, that friend is terrible for telling her to do that. That's just brainwashing. You're like, yes, yeah, we're gonna get some tea tonight. Oh. Think that's where I'm gonna leave this episode though, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. That one about the lesbian sister, I don't know why. Why did they not put that edit into the original post? It just destroyed the whole thing. And why are they getting mad at everyone for flip-flopping on this now? Because people do take these things into consideration. It's got to be a bait post. It's got to be a troll post. That's what I'm going to say. It made me mad. It's not real. Don't think about it. Outro Markee can help. G'day there guys, Outro Markee here. Hope you enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed making it today. If you did, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Tell me what you thought about it down below. Also, if you like memes, be sure to head on over to my second channel, AmITheA. It should be one of the sexy Australian faces on screen, the one without the flag. It's my latest and greatest creation, and I hope you like it. Also, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my channel members and Patreon subscribers. You guys do so much good for me, and the support goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I love you guys, and I appreciate all the help and support you provide me on this channel. Also, if you want to join the family, links are down in the description below, or click that join button next to the subscribe button. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that one today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!